I'm going to buck the tide and admit I didn't like this book at all. Welcome to Book Tales, where I review books for the Chaos Library. Mrs. Frisby and the Rats of NIMH by Robert C. O'Brien is a classic children's book about uplifted rats, which should have been a perfect fit for me. I love talking animal books, and I'm fond of rats and have kept some as pets. But there's something about anthropomorphic animals acting in ways that are way too human that just doesn't work for me. It's one thing when it's The Wind in the Willows or Winnie the Pooh, both of which are firmly planted in fantasy and fairy tale. There you know the rules, and it is simple to suspend disbelief and accept that the animals are talking and acting like humans. But this book is a weird mix of fairy tale and science fiction, and it misses the mark. If we're going to accept that mice get married, have human names and surnames, have babies that take years to grow up instead of months, speak, talk, and think like people, then fine, it's a fairy tale, and that's okay. But then you throw in the science and the uplifting of intelligence and extension of lifespan with gene therapy and drugs, and now we're in sci-fi territory. Sorry, but Fantasyland and Tomorrowland are two very different places, and they just don't fit together. If the author had leaned harder into either fantasy or science fiction, it might have been more enjoyable, but it tries to have the best of both worlds and just couldn't pull it off. This book failed as fantasy and failed as science fiction, and very much failed at evoking the feeling of a mouse and not a human in a mouse suit. Maybe if I'd read it as a child it would have been better, but as an adult, it's a hard no. 3 needed more or less reality. Stars. You've reached the tail end. Look forward to another book tale soon, and don't forget to visit the Chaos Library.